Hey skiers, I'm Jeff from skiessentials.com.
And I'm Emily.
Emily and I are here today to talk about the brand new 2024 Volkl Blaze 82. Maybe you saw my interview with Andy Mon earlier this season. We talked a lot about new Blaze skis, mostly the 114. This is on the other end of the width spectrum in the Blaze series. And kind of crazy that there are skis that range from 82 to 114 in the same collection. Thought that was kind of interesting. But this is a really cool ski, and I think this is a valuable video because skis like this often don't get that much attention. So we're at a $4.99 price point here, just for flat skis. So this is the men's graphic. Emily's got the women's graphic. No difference in construction between the two, so we thought we'd do the video together. And $4.99 is really affordable for a ski with a considerable amount of technology in it. On the women's side, in Volkl's kind of range of skis, that's $100 less than a Yumi 80, which is already like kind of a value-oriented ski in the technology that it provides for the price. So pretty cool. And there's a lot of different things that this ski can be depending on skier type, application, terrain. So I'm excited to talk about all those things. Before we do, I'm just going to touch on construction and shape here. So the narrower Blaze models, the 82 and the 86, which we've already had for a season, those are kind of like, I like to use the word inspired by the construction of the wider skis, the 94, the 106, and now the 114. So we do get a multi-layer lightweight wood core in this ski. It is not the hybrid multi-layer wood core. So in the wider Blaze models, we have that strip of synthetic material down the middle, or that like green material that we looked at with Andy Mon in the 114. So just a more simple wood core in this ski, which kind of allows them to keep the price at a minimum. So relatively straightforward in that sense. Instead of a metal laminate underfoot, we've basically just got a raised portion of kind of extra material, extra fiberglass. So no metal in this ski, which again is allowing them to keep that price down. We do get suspension tips and tails, which I think is really important. So you might actually be able to see them because this top sheet's kind of translucent, but you've got a little rubber insert both in the tip and in the tail, which kind of reduces the ski's willingness to deflect or reduces overall deflection in this ski. So that's about it for construction. Shape is, I'd say, where things get a little bit more interesting. So at least for a ski that's this narrow, there is very long tip rocker. So tip rocker actually starts like about where my hand is, very low splay, so you're actually going to retain good edge contact with the snow, gives it a very confidence-inspiring feel, but you have enough rocker up here that it's kind of adding in some maneuverability as well as some forgiveness. And then same thing in the tail. We've got quite a bit more rocker. Again, not a lot of splay, very low rise rocker, but quite a bit more than you would expect or than you'd see in most skis in this width range. And then we do get Volkl's 3D radius in this ski, which I think is really important, and I think a big reason why it can be so many different things for so many different skiers. This is the 173 that I have, and we have a 28-meter tip radius, 15 underfoot, and 23 in the tail. So when you look at like the 106 and the 114, there's a huge variance in tip to waist to tail dimensions or radii. But that's still a pretty big difference. 28 and 15 are very, very different things. And we do have a huge range in length options in this ski too. I think it goes all the way down to like a 148, and then it goes up to 180. So there's one length longer than this. But that's about it for construction and shape. And like I said, I think this ski can be a bunch of different things for a bunch of different skiers. I think the most obvious and probably what it'll get used for the most is kind of a beginner intermediate level all mountain ski.
Yep.
It's very easy to ski. We both had an opportunity to ski it quite a bit this season. And yeah, what do you think? Just kind of cruising groomers on
Yeah,
it.
I mean, my first run on these skis, first couple turns, I think I quickly realized how they like to be skied.
Yep.
Which is always great, especially if you're putting a beginner to an intermediate on a ski like this. Super friendly, approachable, just
Yep.
intuitive. Doesn't take a long time just to get the feel of them, which is always really nice. And on the groomers, they're not necessarily a ski that you want to, you certainly can't go into skiing these expecting to be able to, rail a turn and get them really high on edge. That's not really their forte necessarily, which is fine,
Totally.
as long as you know that, that's always a plus in
Yep.
my mind. But they're fun, they're quick edge to edge. I felt like I could make really nice, snappy turns on the groomers and still felt confident enough to be, making wider, longer turns, but they definitely like to be skied shorter turn radius. But for somebody who just wants to go and have a good time on a groomer and just feel confident and progress and build their skill set, this is the ski. I think it's...
Yeah, I think, and I'm glad you brought up progression. I think that's a big part of it. And we kind of had been chatting about this before we started filming. A lot of beginner skis, when you think about a typical beginner ski or like kind of entry-level all-mountain ski, is they're going to have a shorter radius, probably closer to this 15 radius underfoot here, and that's about it. You don't typically get a lot of rocker. You're going to have camber, shape, extended side cut, short radius.
Mm-hmm.
And what can happen on skis like that for a developing skier is you learn one turn shape, because that's the turn shape that the ski wants to make. With this shape, with the rocker profile and the 3D radius, what's super beneficial and super valuable for a developing skier is you can make all different turn shapes.
Yep.
You can make short skidded turns on the side of the trail. You can make long, drawn-out skidded turns.
Yep.
You can side slip down the whole trail if you want to,
Yeah.
and the ski is not going to complain. But then with that 15-meter turn radius, you can also kind of gas pedal the ski a little bit or start to play around with
Yep.
higher edge angles and getting the ski to hook up and make those carves. So it's not, like you were saying, it's not going to hold for an aggressive high-speed skier that's
Right.
making like super powerful carving turns. It's going to wash out. But for that developing skier, it's actually a really good tool. And like I skied it reasonably hard and it still held.
Yep.
So I think you could take it and go from not really making true carves all the way up to like actually making a pretty dynamic turn before you kind of outgrow the ski.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's also super light, which I think
Very.
is always like, as long as it's not jittery and chattery, which I think they do a good job controlling with that rubber, I always think a lighter ski is better for a developing skier.
Yeah, for sure. And I like how you pointed that out, just the addition in the tips just really helps with the dampening quality. And,
Yeah.
I think that can really throw off a beginner to intermediate skier if
Yeah,
it's like
100%.
chattery and unreliable.
Yeah.
But they did a really good job with that. And so it's that lightweight nature and really easy to maneuver and control. And that just makes, learning different styles of turns and bringing it up to different speeds
Totally.
really easy and approachable. So yeah.
And people don't talk about this very much, but a lighter weight ski is just nice
Yeah.
for the whole skiing experience.
Yeah.
Putting your skis in your car, taking your skis from your car to the trail,
Yeah.
like shuffling over to the lift, like all those little things, even sitting on the chairlift with the feet your skis hanging off your feet, like heavier ski is going to, when you add up all those things, you're going to be a lot more tired at the end of the day, which I think for an intermediate skier, like that's a big thing.
You don't need that.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you don't need like crazy fitness levels so you can handle your skis that are super heavy. On this ski is going to be a lot more friendly and kind of compliant throughout.
Yeah, and there's
skiing.
good energy and liveliness to them.
100%. Yeah. No, you can definitely load up some snappy energy in that ski. Now, what I think where things get really interesting is definitely a good ski for a kind of beginner, intermediate, less aggressive skier. My mom's been skiing her whole life. I kind of mentioned that she would probably absolutely love skiing this thing. But we also have I mean, we don't use this terminology very often, but we've kind of proven that it can also work for a higher level skier. You skied some moguls on it, and it looked great.
Yeah, they were awesome in the moguls. I mean, the first run I took that was off the groomer, there was a few inches of fresh snow. I felt a little unsure being on this waist width, and
Totally.
and these are the 159s, which are a little shorter for what I normally ski. And within a few turns, it was very obvious that they wanted to just move from edge to edge and just release from the tails really energetically. And being on the terrain that I was on, just bumps and tight terrain, it was a blast. I mean, they were so easy to control. I felt stable still throughout it, and I think they would be a really awesome ski for somebody, you know, like you and I, or, you know, you said your mom would love the ski, but then there's also skiers who are looking to venture off piste a little bit.
Totally, that developing skier
and
could
get
be
into the
somebody that's
trees
like,
and
wants to
feel
explore.
explore and get a feel of skiing glades or trees,
Yeah.
and this would be an awesome choice for that.
Yeah, and it's like, it's really interesting, you know, it's like even us, like Emily and I, who like it's our job to kind of test and assess skis, like we succumb to like kind of industry norms where like I am not kind of mentally trained as a skier to think like bypass at Stowe. So like off-piste trail, or at least ungroomed trail, kind of technical. There are some steep sections, there are some tight sections, there are some drops if you want to hit them. When I think about that with 4 inches of fresh snow on it, I do not think about a ski that's 82 underfoot.
Definitely not.
And like, if I think that way, I guarantee that you probably think that way too. And I think it's really cool that this ski actually works really well in that application.
Absolutely.
So pretty interesting. Like I didn't ski the same moguls that Emily did on it, but I kind of skied some softer snow on the side of the trail, and yeah, I was pleasantly surprised like what you can make it do and how easy it is.
Yeah.
I think sometimes when you go this narrow, like things just feel a little catchy, and you got to work harder to release your edge, where on this it's just very easy.
And I keep going back to just friendly and intuitive.
Friendly
like
and fun.
they want to work with you. They're not, you know, you're not fighting the ski. You're not, you know, trying to figure out what it likes to do. It just kind of does what you want it to. And,
Totally.
Makes for a really fun experience, and that goes a long way with someone who's getting into more difficult or just at least like off-piste terrain.
Yep. I think the last thing that we absolutely have to talk about is the touring potential. So I don't remember exactly where we are for weight here, but I think we're like right around 1,400 grams in this length. You're down, I think, around 1,300 grams in that length. So they're very, very lightweight. All of the Blaze skis have all been designed with some amount of alpine touring in mind. This ski still has that little skin attachment point.
Oh, yeah.
You can still get pre-cut skins from Volkl that are designed for this ski.
It's great.
And when I think about this ski, I think about all those skiers that are in the Midway parking lot at Stowe every morning at like 6 a.m. or whenever those guys all start skiing, a little earlier than I normally get there. But there's a ton of people. There's a few hundred people literally that skin up Stowe every day, regardless of snow conditions. And more often than not, you're just skiing groomers. So if you're doing that, like why would you need to go wider? You're not skiing soft snow. The wider your ski, the more mass and material and weight you're just lugging up the hill. So there's like really cool touring potential here. And then it makes me think about like, so $499 ski, you could add an inexpensive binding on here and get out of the shop or get out of the online checkout for $600, $650, something like that.
Yeah.
Like, very good deal. You could also put like a $700 touring binding on here, and then all of a sudden you've got a $1,200 package that's like way more technical and way more like advanced than that kind of beginner intermediate style alpine package. So I think it's like a cool way to think about it and like visual representation of the multiple different things that the ski
Yeah,
could be.
it's just super versatile, and there are a lot of applications for a lot of different ability levels and skiers, and so props to Volkl for that. And
Yeah.
I don't, it's not a ski that many people will gravitate to
Right.
necessarily, so it should be. There are a lot of people that I would recommend this ski to, and
Yeah, you even mentioned that like you would enjoy owning a pair for Mad River skiing.
absolutely, yeah.
Like low snow Mad River skiing, and like I mean probably Volkl doesn't want to hear this or any ski manufacturer, but like sometimes Mad River is really bony and thin.
Very.
And like
yeah,
when your ski was only $4.99, like
yeah. And I
don't like bashing a ski apart anytime, but
No.
yeah, again when it's like not ridiculously expensive, it's a
Yeah.
little easier to swallow and
Sure.
easier on the pocketbook.
absolutely, but I think they would withstand Mad River just fine. But
Oh, totally. No, I just mean like it's kind of
Oh,
perfect for a
absolutely.
ski like that.
I hear-
if
yeah.
you're just gonna go rip around mogul runs and like don't want to have to worry about it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why, but like just kind of mentally, like if you were doing that on a Kenja 88 and I saw you like hit a bunch of rocks, I'd be like,
yeah.
what did you
What
do?
are you
Like,
thinking? Yeah.
You hurt your Kenjas. Where on this, it's like it feels appropriate.
Yeah.
Like, you have the
Sure.
right tool for the job there.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely add this to my quiver of skis. I normally don't go for the narrower skis. I just have
Totally.
always kind of been in like the mid 90s to low 100 waist width, but I just think the combination of the waist width, the construction, and the shape makes for a really great like daily driver almost for the East
Yeah,
Coast. Like
sure.
touring and bumps and trees and just really versatile and awesome.
You're wearing
Super
the
fun.
hat. You were just out in Snowbird. You were
Was.
also in Kicking Horse.
Yes.
So maybe we'll get you a Blaze 82 and a Blaze 114.
Yes. Then you get the full scope
Best
of the
of
Blaze
both
series.
worlds.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, anyways, that's it. That's the Blaze 82. I think it's a cool ski. You're not going to see a lot of content on it. I can pretty much guarantee that. So, wanted to take some time and kind of just chat about all the different things it could be. Emily, anything that we missed?
I don't think so. I think we really covered all of the bases here.
Perfect. So, let us know if you have any Blaze 82 questions. We will talk to you soon.
Bye.